everyone. So, I've got my video of my favorite Western Union Long Lines towers. So this tower is in like a route between Texas and Kansas. This is a Western Union Long Lines route. It's one of my favorite routes actually in the Western Union Long Lines network. So this tower here is like a tower that has FH306s. There's two sets of it. So this one here, behind it, that lattice tower has an FH324, or it could be a 3000B. I know it's got a dual strobe. But anyways, so this is, these are markers here, which tells you this tower has the FH306s. And it looks like it's been repurposed as well. Now this tower's always been on the top of it. Like, this tower's been on this Western Union tower since it was built. So yeah. So here's a Western Union tower I couldn't get a picture of because it was sadly taken down in the 70s. Like after Western Union shut down their long lines network. So they used them for Cold War back in the days. They started their network in 1944, but after the tower was destroyed here in like the early 2000s, they came here and built a cell tower here, a guide cell tower, but then it was taken down as well. So I'll sadly never know if this old Western Union tower had a beacon or not. Which I would like to know if it did or not. So yeah, and here's the one that's been repurposed as well. Now what I like about this one is on top of that building there used to be a periscope antenna actually aiming up at the antennas on here that used to aim down. But when this got a new owner, its periscope panel antennas were removed from it completely. And it got a new beacon as well. So this one here has an FH306 as well. It's either an FH306 or an FH308. I know it had to have been one of the single strobes because it doesn't look tall. Or it doesn't look big on the tower. But this tower still stands today, but doesn't look like anyone's using it. But if it has a new beacon on it, or like a modern beacon, that means there has to be an antenna somewhere on the tower. Because usually the towers that are in use still have beacons on them that actually work. And they're modern too, so yeah, here's one that's a small Western Union tower, hiding in the middle of trees. I really hope this one still stands today, but it doesn't look like it though, so it's probably cleared out and hauled away. But it probably did, but it probably is still standing today because of how it looks and stuff. But I just really hope to preserve these towers in the future because they're long lines towers. But this one here's beaconless because there's no signs of anything on it. And here's another Western Union tower at the single strobe. It looks like it might be a single strobe or it could be a dual strobe. So this one here actually had its periscope antennas taken down, like off the tower. And the tower's probably been removed as well. But I think they probably did that to make space for new antennas on the tower. And here's another one that had its antennas removed in this route as well. Now I really like those antennas at the base of it. Because they aim up and they look really cool. Like, so the tower that this one so here's how it works. So the building actually has a bunch of equipment so that transmits the signals. And they go up out of these dishes at the base of it, and into those periscope antennas, and they aim it towards the other tower. So the building itself is basically the controls for all the radiation stuff like that. Which I think Western Union towers look really cool with their periscope antennas and all that. And then this one here was recently painted red and white. Or it's been repainted red and white because it got a new owner. So it's really nice to see people taking care of these things after their history and stuff. But I just really want to preserve them in the future. Like all of them that remain or left in the United States. Now, some of these towers that have been taken down, I actually had to go back in time on Google Earth to show historical imagery, like 1994, and I can see some of these Western Union towers. So this one here sadly no longer stands, which I made a video of it when it was taken down and stuff, when its building still remains, but the tower's gone. And yeah, here's the other one that was taken down, that was like north of it. So this one here is like one of the famous Western Union towers that a lot of us tower enthusiasts know about. It's one of those Westinghouse towers in Oklahoma that's really famous. And I seen a YouTube video of it where the guy was doing maintenance work on it for the government or something, 'cause they own it. It has a single strip, or it could be an LED. I know it's got some kind of beacon that's, well, I don't think it's a tall beacon, but it has to be a single strip or a flat LED. Now here's one that used to be near Longlines Tower. You can kind of see it. This one's a single Western tower. It's not really conjoined, but this one here is actually replaced in 2013. So yeah, it's near Oklahoma City, like near a Longlines Tower that has a cell phone tower beside it. But the good thing is it was replaced by another red and white tower. But this tower here is unique because it was a four-legged Western Union tower, a four-legged guide tower. That's rare. And here's another four-legged guide tower just like the previous one. But, these towers are rare. I wish there was more of these towers like in my area and stuff like that. But they're just not that popular nowadays because all these cell phone towers and stuff. Now this one here was in the middle of nowhere. It's a beaconless tower. So this one here was almost in risk of a wildfire. It almost collapsed or something because it was so close to a wildfire that it spread at one time. But luckily it's still around today and it survived everything. And here's the other one in the same area that survived the wildfire. But the building looks like it could have been in bad condition after that. But they probably repaired it or something, hopefully. Alright, so my most favorite Westinghouse towers are conjoined ones. I'm not really a fan of the single ones, but there's triple ones too, like one of the previous ones I showed you guys. But I wish this one here had a beacon, or like an FH308 and FH307 setup. I'd give that the setup for fun, just like the fun of it, and just leave it and don't put any markers on it or anything. But it looks like the ham radio or a microwave company owns this one. So you can see two microwave dishes are present on the tower. So here's one that's been close to being taken down, but it somehow didn't get taken down. But its antennas were removed though. So yeah, it's another beaconless conjoined tower. But I'm just glad at least the tower's still around, But the hard work is getting all the antennas put back up on them when I preserve them in the future. And then here's a single Western Union tower. Now I think there used to be a conjoined one here years ago, but this one here has an old school incandescent. This one right here does, the existing one. But there probably was a conjoined tower here at one point before this one. So yeah, these conjoined towers are really cool. Most of the conjoined ones are usually small though. They're not as tall as the single ones. And they can hold like 4 periscope antennas. Like there's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side of those ones. Now here's where another conjoined one used to be years ago. Then the FM company bought it. So that building below there, that's the original building to it. But sadly the tower's gone and it's just like a taller FM tower there. Then here's another dead one I had to go back in time on Google Earth to see. It's I don't know too much about this one other than it had an old school incandescent. And yeah, here's an existing one that had old school incandescent replaced by an FH306. And one of the legs actually has markers on it. I believe it's the leg that has the FH306 on it. And its periscope antennas were taken down back in 2001. And this one here, its antennas were removed as well, but it still stands today. So yeah, there's trees around the building now that surrounds the site from being vandalized. But it's probably going to get taken down, because the more you don't take care of them, the less days it's going to live, like the less amount. Like you're just decreasing its lifespan if you're not going to take as much care of it. Then yeah, here's one that's being modified, and this one here is having its antennas taken off. Because you can see there in the top right antenna, it's being removed. And they got a bunch of crane pieces right there so they can work on this one. Alright, so this is the last one of this video, and this one only has one periscope antenna and a couple microwave dish antennas. This is at a very big site, but this tower used to have an old school incandescent, but now it's beaconless. And as you can see, it's a very wide conjoined tower.